Ed Matthews with a WFMY News 2 weather update. Want to get you updated on our weather situation, let you know how things are going here in the Piedmont and more critically along the Virginia border and on up into Virginia, where we have seen some snow, sleet, and rain this morning. We continue with our weather impact alert for today and for tomorrow as well. Even on Wednesday morning, there's a slight risk of maybe a little bit of freezing rain, even here in the Triad, but it favors areas along the Virginia-North Carolina border. Caswell, Rockingham, Stokes, Surry County, and out over our foothills have a better chance of giving that light wintry mix. But again, for the rest of the area, it's going to be a mainly cold rain, and it looks as though it's going to be a soaking rain. We have a good chance of rain right on through midday on Thursday. We get a break on Valentine's Day, and then we bring more rain in for the upcoming weekend. Can't rule out some slick spots. Bridges and overpasses are colder surfaces, so those areas that I just mentioned near the Virginia border, maybe some slick spots on bridges and overpasses especially. But even with just plain old rain, you need to take it easy as you head out and drive this morning and again tomorrow morning. Been keeping a close eye on temperatures. These are the current temperatures this morning around the area. With the mixed precipitation that has moved in earlier, confined mainly along the Virginia border, that precipitation has allowed the atmosphere to cool somewhat in a process we call evaporative cooling. And now we're seeing these communities right around that critical freezing mark, around 32 degrees. That extends all the way out to Wilkesboro, and also 32 at Mount Airy, 32 at Walnut Cove, but Yanceyville and Danville at the freezing mark. So right along this area where we've gotten the evaporative cooling this morning, temperatures near freezing. Now in the Metro Triad and points on to the south where we have seen little in the way of any type precipitation, temperatures are several degrees above freezing. As a matter of fact, look at this, Winston-Salem and Greensboro and Burlington in the upper 30s this morning. Earlier, we had a batch of mixed precipitation in our border counties with Virginia. That has been lifting to the north, and that batch, for the most part, is moving on up through Virginia. Now, if you have travel plans up into Virginia today, and I'm talking about Roanoke and Lynchburg, you may want to call ahead. Our Virginia counties are under a winter storm warning for accumulating snow and ice in those areas where the atmosphere is a little bit colder. But on live radar, there's really nothing much going on across the area this morning. We're seeing a few patches of light rain around Troy and Biscoe, but the rain is just kicking in, and it'll really ramp up later on today and into the overnight period. We're tracking this batch of rain, and this is a steady rain and some pockets of heavier rain tracking east through the Tennessee Valley. That will continue to move to the east, and some of that will start to move into the Piedmont through the afternoon and overnight period. And that's when we're going to see just plain old cold rain for the Piedmont. Now, temperatures overnight will drop back to near freezing, so there is a minor concern for maybe a little freezing rain early on Wednesday morning. I don't think it's critical for the Triad, but again, we're going to be watching these areas right near the Virginia border. And you can see things a little bit more critical up over Virginia, where a winter storm warning is in effect until Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Here in the Triad and up to the Virginia border, we're under a winter weather advisory, and that is until noon coming up on Wednesday. Here's what we can expect in terms of the various types of precipitation. From the Triad and south, it's just going to be plain old cold rain for those areas. And we're talking about Asheboro and Troy and Sanford and Siler City. The dividing line appears to be right near I-40, I-85. Maybe a little icing here. We'd be hard pressed to get a glaze of ice here in the Metro Triad, but again, a little bit more critical. You move up to around Reedsville and over to Stoneville and Yanceyville as well. So, and then of course, more deteriorating weather as we get up into Virginia. In terms of icing, again, the greatest threat of ice will be to our north, maybe a quarter to, in some spots on up into Virginia, a half of an inch of ice, pretty significant. Again, potentially a glaze this morning and again tomorrow morning here in the Triad, but I think we're going to be hard pressed to even get that. And of course, as you head to the south, again, it's just going to be plain old rain. The setup on the surface weather map is cold high pressure to our north, but moisture is streaming in from the south. And again, this is going to be a pretty big rain event that will keep us wet right on through mid-Thursday, but that's okay because we're in a moderate drought. We normally don't think about drought conditions in the middle of winter because it's not the growing season. So a good soaking rain would be okay for our part of the Piedmont, where we could rack up a couple of inches of rain. Thankfully, that wouldn't be snow, or we would be buried in snow. So the moisture continues to stream in, and again, overall, for the most part, with the exception of a little icing near the Virginia border, this is going to be a cold rain event. We'll keep rain in the forecast right on through Wednesday and Wednesday night. As a matter of fact, another big batch moves through Wednesday night and early on Thursday. That's kind of the final hurrah from this system, as low pressure and a cold front will move through the area and dry us out. Right now, Friday is looking like a nice day, mid-40s under a partly sunny sky, but another system is destined to head our way as we go into the upcoming weekend, as we continue in a very soggy and very wet weather pattern. So Friday is going to be one of those days that we want to savor and really enjoy. We look down the road with our GFS model, and of course Wednesday seeing rain again, maybe a little wintry mix on up into southern Virginia, but for us mainly that soaking rain for Wednesday night, and for the first half of Thursday. And then it looks as though with that cold front moving offshore, we're going to have an opportunity to dry out. No precipitation of any type is expected as we head into the day on Friday. But I go forward and look what happens on Saturday. Our next system promises to be a wet one, and although we may start out dry on Saturday morning, we run the risk of widespread rain for later Saturday afternoon and on into Saturday night, and for the better part of Sunday as well. This go round, it looks as though the mountain locations are the favored area for any snow with this system. Hopefully this next system for the weekend will move out and we'll be able to dry things out as we go into Monday. Now this rainfall total graphic is through Thursday, not the weekend. That's a separate event. But again, our GFS model suggesting maybe 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches of rain in some spots. Now that's kind of spread out over a couple of days, so we don't see any flash flood issues given the fact that we've been so dry. If we look down the road out to about 14 days, in terms of temperatures, we are forecast to be averaging a bit below normal, and you thought winter was over with after January. That's not the case. We think that we'll see temperatures below normal and precipitation in the 8 to 14 day time frame looks to be above normal. Below normal temperatures, above normal precip, anything goes during the rest of the month of February, and of course into the first part of March as well. Stay with us over the next several days. We'll keep you updated. A little wintry mix favoring the Virginia border this morning. Otherwise, rain ramps up this afternoon. Temperatures will be several degrees above freezing. We'll hover into the mid-30s. Rain tonight, and freezing rain is just a possibility, certainly not a guarantee, but we think overnight temperatures will dip back to right near freezing. Another weather impact alert day for the possibility of a minor amount of icing on Wednesday morning at high 36. Rain for Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. The first half of Thursday looks very wet, but look how we warm up. Warm front moves through first, and then the cold front moves through later Thursday. We'll get up pretty close to the 60-degree mark. A sweet forecast coming up on Friday because it's going to be Valentine's Day and it's going to be dry. And then we'll bring that big batch of rain in for the upcoming weekend. Have a great Tuesday. We'll continue to keep you updated with more cut-ins and let you know what's going on in Piedmont weather. You have a great day and stay safe.